So it was a nice, cozy kind of Sunday night meal. It doesn't feel like I'm already losing track of the days. Can I just be honest with that? Like I don't have a sense of time in my being. But yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. And then I'm going to, I think, sit down and edit video and do some reading sprints. So ta-da! Okay, so now it can sit for just a few minutes and kind of cool a little bit. I don't want to put it in the fridge while it's super hot. And then, yeah, that's a good serving for, that's more than that's a couple of servings for somebody tomorrow. So I'm back. So the kitchen is clean, and I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about to like finish up today's vlog, which I realize is not very like productive. Like what ended up happening today was I just kind of lounged around a little bit, and I ended up taking a nap. And I was like, I had like a nightmare like during the nap, like stress dreams. And so like, yeah, I still have some like relaxing I need to do in order to like get my mind to calm down. But anyway, and I was thinking about how I've mentioned books, but I haven't really talked about what I've been reading or what I think about what I've been reading or anything like that. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to do that because I haven't done that. And that's part of what my Vlogmas is about, is things that I've been reading. So I'm only going to go back to like things that I finished last week during that crazy end of semester week. So, and pretty much everything that I read last week was audiobooks, because if you're new here or maybe you don't remember, I have a long commute. Like I drive an hour to work in the morning, and then I drive an hour home from work. And I say an hour, it's like 54 minutes or something like that, give or take, depending on like traffic or something like that. And this past week, and really coming into this week, I think there's been like dense fog advisories and stuff. It's like driving into Silent Hill or something, or Stephen King's The Mist or something. It's been intense, I guess. I don't know, a little bit scary. Anyway, and so I tend to listen to audiobooks. Sometimes my brain is just doing like ADHD things and I can't get it to focus and I can't listen to an audiobook, but most of the time I can listen to an audiobook. And I generally sort of go back and forth between different genres. Sometimes I'll listen to nonfiction, and it's like being in a, I don't know, like a seminar. Sometimes I'll listen to a thriller because it will like sort of pull me in and keep me interested, and makes the drive go by faster. And then sometimes I'm into a romance because I want that happily ever after, especially if I'm in a section of the semester or like the grading period where it's stressful and I want that, like the good vibes, I guess is what I'm saying. So the book that I was reading, I started it on December the 13th. Or at least I think I started on the 13th. I don't know. That's what I have it marked in my Goodreads. And I finished it on the 17th, which was Wednesday. And it is The Good Samaritan by John Mars. Now, I've read, oh, it's a thriller, by the way. Like, not really a domestic thriller, kind of a domestic thriller. And it is British. And I've read, I think I've read 3 other John Mars books. This is the lowest I've ever rated a John Mars book. This one, I rated it 2 stars. Content warnings on this book for like unaliving oneself and like talking about that at length a lot. Also, the unaliving of people of various ages and situations, including being pregnant. So that, yeah, like that kind of made it difficult. But that didn't really, like, wasn't the reason that I gave it the 2 stars. What really was dropping it in the rating was like one of the main characters, like it sort of did a dual perspective thing, but one of the perspectives, the main character, she was unlikable. And yeah, okay, I can deal with an unlikable like narrator, but it was like you wanted certain things to happen and you thought maybe they were going to happen, and then they sort of like didn't, and it was like this cat and mouse, like you think it's, you think they're caught and then they get away, and then you think they're caught and so like it kind of had the ebb and flow, and you're in that, but then at a certain point you kind of get tired of that tug and pull. And also there is a certain like structure and story arc that a reader is looking for or expecting or what have you, and I felt like there was no specific climax in this book, and it was frustrating. And it got to the point that I felt like I was reading the script of a soap opera. And I was like the suspension of belief became a bit much. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Ugh. So anyway, like if you're gonna read a John Mars one, I don't know that this is the one for you, but, and I think it's fairly recent. So I'm like, dude, you need to like, I don't know, get back to what you were doing with some of those other ones that you were writing, because they were better. So I don't recommend that one. The next one that I started, and I have it marked as the 19th and 20th. I can't imagine. Maybe I just listened to Christmas music for a day or so, but I don't know that I did. But the next one that I listened to was a historical fiction novel called The Naturalist Society by Carrie Vaughn. This one is historical, but also like magical realism. And it's set in 1880, like it starts in 1880, and it's about this world in which like these people are interested in the natural world, which, I mean, yeah, that was actual thing for then. And when they would look at wildlife, they would sort of like designate it, like sort of like Darwin in them, like give it its Latin names and observe it and draw the pictures and all of that sort of thing. And in the magical realism part of it, certain people had these like magical abilities that they could, by observing the animal, somehow draw power and magical abilities from it. Like, I don't know that the world building really explained it very well, but some were more powerful with that than others. I did like the writing style, and I did like after a little bit of introduction, you got into this situation where you understood like these characters, and they were connected in ways that at first you didn't realize, but then you realized that they were connected. And there was an LGBT QI plus element, and so I did appreciate that. And then like the love element was also like, the love story element was like not overdone, like it didn't take over the story. And I really felt like it was like very well balanced between the fantasy elements in it and the historical elements of it. Because sometimes when you have like a historical novel where there's fantasy elements, one will sort of eclipse the other. This one I felt like was pretty well balanced. And there is a second book. So I don't know if it's meant to be a duology or if the author is going to do more with this, but there is another book. And so I am planning on going to that other book because I am interested in the character that I know that that other book is going to cover. And so I do want to know what happens next. So, and I gave that one 4 stars. Like, if I really had to like be nitty gritty about it, I would say it's like a 3.5 star, and I rounded it to a 4 because you know you don't do like half stars on Goodreads. And then finally today, I listened to the entirety of Resting Scrooge Face by Megan Quinn. This is a short story. It's like 80 pages long. I listened to it on Audible through the Kindle Unlimited. I enjoy Megan Quinn's writing. There's just something very easy about it. Her characters just kind of gel, and it's set in like this area of Maine, and I've read some of her other books, so I'm familiar with this area of Maine, and so it felt like coming home, not home, but you know, revisiting these small Maine towns, and I just really enjoyed it. It's also got letter writing, and I just really enjoy epistolary novels, like where there's like writing back and forth. Something about that style just really calls to me. I don't know. Like, it's sweet, and I think it really reveals something about people when they write back and forth to each other. I don't know. Maybe that's like old school in my heart, but I gave it 4 stars. I just wanted something simple that I could listen to today that was sort of holiday themed, and it was about these 2 individuals who had dated in the past, and they had broken up because one of the people wanted to go to a large city and chase the dream, and the other person was hesitant about doing that, didn't want to do that, so they broke up. They were going in different directions, like literally different directions. And things had brought them back. It's holiday season, and because of what they were involved in, they were going to, it's a small enough town, they were going to bump into each other, and they're both kind of scroogey about the holidays. And for whatever reason, one of the characters writes like this sort of silly letter about like hating the holidays, and doesn't sign it with their name, just signs it with like Resting Scrooge Face or something. And a friend delivers the letter to this other person, and it just, they don't know it's each other for a while, and it's just, I really enjoy that trope. Like, I really like that. So anyway, so that's what I've like accomplished up until, like, finished reading up until today. And for the year 2025, I went and looked and made sure it was all updated. I have read 118 like books. I mean, that last one was sort of like a novella, I guess you would say. Yeah. Am I looking for a specific number? Like my overall goal was just 100, so I'm past that. But I mean, yeah, I guess I would like to be at a high number. I mean, I don't think it really matters. I'm not going to try to read a bunch of things and try to get any further than that. Currently, I am trying to focus on this physical novel because I feel like I've really been leaning hard on my Kindle Unlimited subscription and like my Audible subscription. So I'm really trying to like lean into the reading sprints and stuff on this. So I'm reading Murder at Holly House, and it has some like poor reviews. Listen, I didn't look for any spoilery reviews, but I did look to see like what is the overall rating, and I saw that the overall rating was like not that high. So I'm like, what's going on in this book? I think I have a theory. I don't want to reveal my theory, but I have a theory. I'm not very far in. Like, I'm just a little bit in. But I'm going to do a reading sprint before I go to bed tonight. I have some editing to do. Trying to catch up on my editing and get back on track. So anyway, I'm going to stop this video here because I need to get to editing, like I said. And I will see you guys tomorrow, and I will definitely update on how far I've gotten in my reading because I've got to get back on track. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.